Last of all, and speaking of sort of this working together, crossing partisan lines, and trying to really focus on what's good for the community and not getting tangled up in all of the rhetoric that we see flying around on Twitter and up in Facebook and all, if we actually focus on the community and what we need, then there are so many different things that we can do together. And the third project I was proud to secure is $235,000 for the Crisis Intervention team to help the Forsyth County government, and particularly the Sheriff's Office, to achieve their goal of serving residents in Forsyth County in a safe and effective manner. And one of the things we talk a lot about is recognizing that often our police are called into situations where there really is a mental illness at play, and making sure that they have the tools to be able to deal with that is very, very important. And I'm really pleased that the Sheriff's Office here, actually predating me, has been very involved in trying to address those kind of mental health issues. So I was really pleased to help support them in their efforts with this grant. I think it is very important for building trust in the community. One stat that I learned about several years ago was that 40% of adult men in our correctional system have a serious mental illness. And so if we are able to catch it on the front end, address the mental illness issues, we rehabilitate somebody who can be a productive member of our society. We save ourselves a lot of money because it's really expensive to put somebody in the prison system. And so I just am really pleased to see programs like that flourishing here. So with that, let me present the $235,000. We have Sgt Terry Hawkins, who's the head of the Crisis Intervention Units. And thank you so much. Say any words about the program?
Sure. So for those of you that don't know, we've been running this program for a couple of years now, part of an effort to do just as the Congresswoman mentioned, reduce the prevalence of mental illness in our jail, also really attack the stigma that comes along with those diagnoses out in the community, to better train our deputies on how to respond appropriately to those calls for service. Our team, by every way you can define success, has been very successful. I know Sheriff Freeman would want me to thank you. The money from this grant we will use to increase our capacity to serve in this manner. And I think the citizens will bear the benefit of that. So thank you.
Okay, so with that, I want to wrap up. That's the end of the remarks here. And I very much appreciate all of the community leaders who are here today. And we will do pictures in just a second. But before we conclude, does anybody have any questions about what we're working on?
Yeah, I know. Good afternoon, Representative Bourdeax. One of the key things from all these projects are really addressing those areas of need through education, health and wellness, in other aspects, housing. Reinforce to people why these are so critical and so essential to, helping produce a greater quality of life.
Well, one of the things that happens often is our communities grow very fast, and our social services need to keep up with that kind of growth. And one of the things in Forsyth County, which I believe is the fastest growing county, perhaps in the country, it must feel that way, right, to you all. But we want to make sure that our social services are keeping up with that kind of growth, and all of these help address that, making sure that people have substance abuse treatment, particularly our children. It's devastating effects. I can talk about adults. I've got a cousin who got addicted as well, who's 40 years old, but all of these things are things that we need to build into our community, making sure that we are supporting everybody so that they can have access to opportunity, so that they can be all they can be. And that's really what we want to do in our communities. And these are all, I think of these as all projects that actually will save us money in the long term as taxpayers, right? Because if we keep people out of our prisons, if we keep them as productive citizens through crisis intervention, through counseling, then this helps all of us as well as that individual. And certainly through early childhood education, right? Making sure that our children get off to a good start is extremely important. All right. all very much, and let's do some things.